I'm taking your car.
Okay, here.
Out of the car, nobody gets hurt.
Where'd you go? I thought you wanted my car.
Well, guys, sorry about the glare there. Oh, there you go. Now I can see you, or you can see me. I can't see you. I don't have that kind of technology. But anyway, guys, we have another project. My daughter's boyfriend has a 2013 Dodge Avenger, and right now, my F-150 is towing the Avenger. Let's see if I can get a shot of it back there. There it is. And what the problem is it started heating up when he was heading home from work the other day, and I had gotten a call from him, and he said that he had to pull over. He couldn't drive it anymore because it was getting into the danger zone. And what I wound up doing is taking my F-150, and I went and got a car dolly, and I have loaded it on the back here. I'm driving through Phoenix rush hour traffic right now, so it's kind of a bitch. I'll try to cut all the traffic watching parts out. When I had him drive it over, because it's still running fine, it's starting up and it's running fine, but what the problem is when he pulled it up and then backed it up to line it up to the ramps, I noticed that there was a shitload of oil on the ground. And I'm like, oh fuck, what did he do to this poor engine? So I kind of took a quick peek while it was kind of up on the ramps of the car dolly, and I kind of took a look at it, and I have a good idea what it's going to be. And I figured this is the perfect opportunity to bring another car repair video to you guys. And this is the 2013 Dodge Avenger, and it's got the 3.6 VCT engine in it, and the error codes that came on when he started having problems had to do with low coolant level. He's had a leak for a while now, and I think this is all connected. And he also had a low oil pressure in the variable timing gears. The low oil pressure is apparently caused by the major oil that I saw on the ground below. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's what we have in store for you. Next you'll see me in my garage with my lights on and starting to explore the possibilities of what is wrong with this Avenger. Stay tuned, guys. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We finally got the Avenger back in the garage, or into the garage. It's never been here before. And I wanted to show you a few things. You see that mess down there? Remember I told you that it was leaking a lot of oil? And that little trail mark there, and it leads right down into this pool of oil here. We're gonna have to get something to absorb all that. And it looks like all the oil's been coming. Here's the engine cover. The heads are on each side. So what does that look like to you guys? I'm not going to say anything until I tear it down, but go down below in the comments and place your bets. The only way to really find out for sure what's going on is to tear all this out, expose that area, get a closer look. Okay guys, this all started with a water leak, and you can see that there is definitely signs of something leaking around going on here. So he was saying that smoke or steam was coming up from this area. So let's go ahead and get this pulled off. We'll take a closer look once we get a few of these things off. I'm going to set the camera on the tripod and we'll go into supersonic fast speed. Before we do so, I may add here, one thing I did to keep it from dripping oil all over my driveway is I stuffed a rag up there where it looked like it was coming from, and right about there. And let's see what was on the rag. Actually, there wasn't much on the rag. Maybe this thing is just empty of oil. But anyway, okay, here we go, guys. Okay, so now we've got it stripped down a little bit more. You can see much more of what's going on down here. And we still got a bunch of hoses. These look like water lines, the heater hoses. We're going to have to pull these off of this fitting here so we can expose more. We got to just keep pulling wires and stuff out until we can see where this is leaking from exactly. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove the upper intake. This is going to take a while. It looks like there's a lot to it. So we're just going to have to start loosening all the hose around it and continue on. Let's go, guys. Okay, so there's two little bolts right here, and there's two of them exactly the same on that side there. There's a bracket that's still over them that I can't find the second bolt to loosen it up to pull it out of there. So I'm hoping once I loosen this up, I can lift up and pull backwards and get it off that bracket. If not, we'll approach that when the time comes. Or we could just ignore the damn thing and just keep putting oil in it. Just kidding. Alright, so I'm going to start undoing the upper intake. This is the upper intake. This is where the air comes in from the air filter. Okay, and there's like 8 or so bolts here, and then I should have it loosened up to start working out. We'll see. And you always want to start somewhere in the middle and work your way out. All right, let's take two. There we go. Nice, we got it. That is the upper intake. All right, now this area that it's leaking from is down under here. This is the lower intake. Let me show you that up close. This is the lower intake, and what we're going to have to do, so we're going to have to pull off these covers, and we're going to have to remove all the injectors, the fuel rails, and unbolt this lower intake and remove it completely. Something under this is where the leak is. I'm going to lay a rag over this to prevent anything from getting down into the engine for right now. And remember, we have a water leak that we have to fix, and it may be down in here, or my original thought was the water pump was starting to go out, so we'll investigate that after we find out where this oil is coming from. Alright, so I'm going to first of all try to unplug all the injectors. The spark plugs and injectors go down through the middle of the head, kind of like the old Dodge Hemi does, but much different engine. Okay, it looks like I'm going to be able to pop these off. This will be less intrusive than pulling off the coil packs. In some cases, you have to pull them off too. If you ever have a problem getting a connector off, push inward, push the button, and then pull out. And that usually helps greatly. All right. Okay, so there's a few, I think this is a fuel line. Looks like a fuel line. This is the one to go over to the other fuel rail. So we're going to have to remove the... No, maybe not. We'll see about removing the fuel line after we get a little further in. I think it's ready to come off, so I want to pull it off. Wow. Okay. Oh wow, look at all the stuff around these. Alright guys, I'm still stumped at where it's coming from. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to remove this cooler here. That's what it looks like. It looks like maybe an oil cooler. Very possible. It might be coming from that hose right there. I don't know what that hose goes to. That hose goes to... Oh, that's a That's a water line. That's to the heater core. Okay, so that is a cooler. Water flows through there to cool oil, I would imagine. So I'm gonna have to pull all this out and continue my investigation. Alrighty. This piece here is an oil cooler. Somehow water flows through here, maybe down through a water port, and this may be where the water leak is too. I'm going to go with that. But what we're going to do is we're going to clean up the bottom here to see if this is damaged, because it looks damaged to me, but it may be just a bunch of caked on oil. So let's clean it up a little bit. See what we uncover. Looks like melted plastic. This entire piece is going to have to be replaced, believe it or not. Unfortunately so, because there is deterioration in plastic here and in here. So we have to find out if we can even get one of these pieces, because this might be a dealer or a wrecking yard only item. And who's to say what condition those are in too. Yeah, this cannot be used. It is actually melted down. Let me get a screwdriver here and try to scrape that. And that's all broken down right there, and that's broken down plastic. Yep, there's a hole right here. This will never seal up. So here is what we found. This whole channel here was completely full all the way up to these holes here of oil. And I'm willing to say that it's been leaking a little bit for a long time. But recently, something popped. And probably the overheating from the water leak. And I believe the water leak was probably from here too. I just see it happening, guys. So in part 2, we're going to be cleaning this out. I know this is going to be really hard to clean out. We're just going to spray some degreaser in here and then scrub in there and suck out everything that we can. I want to be careful. I don't want to get too much water inside those ports, because those go right down to the oil. Those are the oil ports, and I do not want to get too much water in there, and I don't want to get too much oily water into the water port, which I believe is right there. That one or that one there, I don't know for sure. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for part 1. We have torn down, we've diagnosed the problem. That is definitely, without a doubt, what was leaking oil. Pretty duh moment, huh? And as far as water goes, he said it was coming from over here. We're going to be removing the thermostat, which is in that housing right there. And we're going to remove this and the motor mount, and we're going to expose the water pump in part 2. We might even wait till part 3 to do that. We might make part 2 just repairing this area here. But until then, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave it down below, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. And until next time, guys, subscribe, like, ring the bell so you can see part 2 when it comes out. Take it easy, guys. Be safe.